So clearly, my name is Daniel C. Crowley. For all my people out there that view my YouTube page, this is a unique story that everybody has to hear, or maybe share your story with me on the website. Well, back about, I would say 1/17 of 2016, and today is the 127th day of 2016. I'm still waiting without a furnace. And this organization, after I called 211 here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, called Community Advocates Wisconsin Emergency Assistance Program. And as you can see in the letter here, it's dated January 24th, 2016. Well, after calling 211, they put me in touch with this organization. Well, as soon as that young lady over the weekend called me, they had a technician come out, apparently, and look at my furnace. Well, clearly that says Action Heating and Air Conditioning. See their address there? Want to know if you ever had any problems with them. 414-291-5400. Action Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Well, I didn't have a problem with it until now. You know, that says 117. Again, it's 10 days later. Well, let's back up a second. The story as it happened last Monday, which would have been January 25th, 2016, their technicians were supposed to come out and do an installation of a new furnace. God forbid somebody gets something for new in time of need, and I suffer from a disability. And as you can see under the Disability Act here, I'm sorry you got turned sideways, it talks about Americans with Disability Act 1990 and clearly states the situation that I'm under. I'm a disabled American and I'm entitled to some programs. Well, that program really comes from La Casa. Believe it or not, I live in Milwaukee, and a program's offered to me to somebody in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Okay, saying that, okay. They get federal funding, they get local government funding to provide a service. Well, I had an experience with them 3 years ago. They were supposed to come by and winterize my whole property. That never happened. For whatever reasons, that never happened. So now they got brought into picture again for doing the winterization. They authorized Action Heating and Air Conditioning to do the work. Well, the technician showed up on the 25th. After, mind you, 2 people from Action Heating and Air Conditioning showed up prior. One, this guy on 1/17/2016, which was wonderful, says what I already know, my furnace is probably bad. And then the second guy come out and did the measurements. Yeah, and that, he didn't seem to have any problem. I left him down in the basement for an hour by himself, mind you. Whole hour. Just went back up, doing what I need to do. You know, waking up in the morning, that was cool. Well, then he leaves, and then on the 25th, the technician showed to start to do the work. You know, it took me about a week and a half to get that said and done. So the 25th, the technicians show up. First of all, I told them to call before they show up. Gave them my number, told my doorbell was messed up. I look outside at 8:30 in the morning, the truck's sitting out there running. I go outside, did you try to call me? Oh, no. They were doing their cigarette and coffee stuff and donuts, God only knows what else. They get out of their truck around 9 o'clock, come up to my gate, and again I said about calling me, my doorbell's messed up. And they walk in the gate after I let them in. It's a real rough neighborhood where I live. You can see the address. So I let them in. They come in. They start to do a little bit of looking over what they need to do, I guess. And right away they stopped and said, whoa, we can't do that. There's mouse droppings down there. Well, okay. The house, mind you, is 108 years old. I wish my stature was that strong at 108. It isn't. Having some issues. That's why I'm on Social Security disability. I have spinal stenosis, diabetes, neuropathy with my legs, no feeling in my legs. Yeah, I could go on and on. Well, to make a long story short, you rely on other people's abilities to get something done. Well, the one guy, the driver of the truck, he was so shook up, probably in his late 40s, early 50s, and I ain't going back in there. There's mouse droppings in there. I'm sorry to say, I hadn't swept that side of the basement probably in a couple of years, but you know, the technician came down on the 17th and looked at it, took some pictures, wrote down some information. The other person come back and was down there for a whole hour. Come up, nothing said. Matter of fact, that same dude, he brought me out some space heater. Said, well, maybe this will help you out in the below zero temperatures, mind you. Below zero temperatures. In a house that's damn near 4,000 square feet. Yeah, I got a little bit of income coming in, but here and there. Then on the 25th, these guys come in and say they can't do the work. I think the dude that came there that was driving the van, I think he just had a rough weekend. You know, mind you, I'm 55 years old. I've seen a lot of things in my life that I find kind of humorous. I think he showed up, whatever, between 8 and 9. Finally went out there at about 8:30, talked to the guy. I think he might have been hung over on drugs. I don't know. And then he comes inside and tells me I got mouse droppings and he can't do the work. I think he might have had too much party time, how I interpret it to be. You know, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The kid was with him. He deserves a raise for putting up with the dude. I guarantee you. That guy must have been maybe 25. You know, he finally came back down, and after the driver of the truck wouldn't come back inside, you know, he showed me and said, well, you got this, and you got some water leaks. Well, fortunately, water leak is a drop maybe once every 10 seconds because I got a hot tub. I explained to them clearly I had a hot tub on the second floor. Every bit of 20 feet away from the furnace. You know, that might be leaking a little coupling or something might be leaking some water. That's how I start my day up. Most of the time I get in that hot tub and loosens up my joints and allows me to somewhat get through the day as much as normal as most people do. But I got to go through a little few more steps. You know, people may relate with me. I got a severe back condition. Spinal stenosis, narrow vertebrae in the back. You know, joints got arthritis in them real bad. You know, the doctors are amazed that I can get done what I get done in a day. You know, but here and there. I just think that I'm tired of these people that expect to have a red carpet treatment in houses that are 107, 108 years old. And then nobody has any solutions how to help somebody out to make or to rectify the issue so they continue on. They just say, oh, you need to get an exterminator. Hey, that costs money. In fact, I told one of the guys from La Casa, I think his name is Jesse, matter of fact. Yeah, La Casa, right here, the winterization program that never did anything worth speaking of to my house other than utilize some people that come out and tell me what they were going to do, which they never did to begin with, and I guarantee you they got paid the funding from the state, which I called the state and complained the first time around. Must have been back in 2013, 2014. All I got out of that was a bunch of letters, and that was it. Well, Jesse tells me I need an exterminator. Get an exterminator to come out here. You tell me you're not going to do nothing until I get in touch with the people at Community Advocates. Which, in fact, going back to Community Advocates,